कृपया क्षमताम् अपर सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधव देवपदम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी हरिप्रिये हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 6th chapter. So the last we read, Vedavyasa Muni is inquiring Narada Goswami. After those Munis left your place, what did you do after that? You were a small child. So at that time, what did you do after those rishis had left you? And then further he inquires, at the end of your life, that particular life, so we are talking about Narada's previous life. At the end of the life means when you grew old, how did you leave your body? How did you leave your body? And how did you spend the rest of your lifetime until you grew old? How did you spend the rest of the life? And how did you leave your body in the past life? So this is what Narada Goswami, Vedavyasa Muni has inquired from Narada Goswami. Now we will continue from verse number 4. Prak kalpa visheshametam smritim te muni sattama na hyesha vyavadhat kala esha sarva nirakritihi. हे मुनिश्रेष्ठ केनोई बा এই কল্পান্ত স্থায়ী Narada Goswami thus far he spoke about his past life, and then Vedavyasa Muni is inquiring what did you do after this left, how did you of your life, how did you live, and further he is continuing to his question. I want to know from you, how did you remember your past life in the first place? Because by the influence of time, everything is finished. And particularly Kalpa, you are talking about previous birth in the previous Kalpa. Kalpa means a day of Brahma. A day of Brahma means how many years? You know? Many. You cannot calculate. Many solar years. Satya, Treta, Dwapara and Kali. All these four together, 320,000 years is called Chaturyuga. 4,320,000 years is the span of one Chaturyuga. And you can say very easiest calculation without going into further things, 1000 times this Chatur Yuga means 4 mil, that is one kalpa. What day of Brahma? One kalpa. 4,320,000 into 1000.
7 times about 2.
Yeah. So that is the time of one kalpa. Now, what we were in the previous life, we can't remember. Forget about what was in the previous life. What we did 1 week ago, we will not remember, isn't it? Many of us doesn't have such a memory to, exactly tell what we were doing 1 week ago or 10 days ago. But because time, actually it is time. Time is such a thing that makes everyone forget everything. That's why even when there is somebody is deeply lamenting for the loss of someone, nobody can console such a person unless other than time. Time basically heals that person over a period of time. But during that moment, nobody on earth can console that person. Particularly, a person has got attachment to someone whom he or she has lost. Then that person cannot be consoled by anybody. With time, everything will be finished. Time is a big healer. So, healer is like basically we forget. That's healing means it's a forgetting principle that we have, all of us have got. So now, हे मुनिश्रेष्ठ, बेस्ट अमंग द मुनीज, केनई बा এই কল্পান্তর কাল আপনার পূর্ব জন্মান্তরীণ এই স্মৃতি শক্তি খণ্ডন করতে পারেনি? How did time was not able to, make you forget your past? Because time can make everyone's past, forgetful. How did the time also failed to, make you forget your past? Because Kala Prabhav, by the influence of time, Sakal Vastu Vilop Saranga. Everything is lost by the influence of time. But how did you not lose your memory of your past life? Please tell me. Shri Narada Uvacha. भिक्षुभिर विप्रवसत वसिते विज्ञान देष्टुभिर मम वर्तमानो वयस्याद्य तत एतकदारयम दारशम. श्री नारद कहिलेन, आमार भगवत ज्ञान विषये उपदेशदाता सन्यासी वृंद देशांतरे गमन करिले प्रथम वयसे आमी এই রূপ কর্ম করিয়াছিলাম. So the first question he asked was that what did you do after the sages left? What was your reaction and what did you do after the sages left? Now we read the purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, wherein he said that Vedavyasa Muni is inquiring from Narada because he also wanted to do what Narada did, by which he attained prema. Mahajana yena gata sapantha. We have to follow the path of the pure devotees. So here, Vedavyasa Muni is not inquiring for the sake of history, for the sake of knowledge. He is very sincere because Goswami, he got to the platform of Prema Bhakti by the association with the sages for 4 months only. Just for 4 months he associated with the sages and then he got all the way to Prema Bhakti. Whereas Vedavyasa Muni, he has compiled so many scriptures but he is still not happy. So what is it that I lacked or missed because of which I am unhappy? I want to follow your path. Guru's path is to be followed. Whatever Guru has ordained or whatever Guru has shown through his own personal conduct, we need to follow that for our own welfare. Therefore, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions there that Vedavyasa's inquiry is not just for the sake of knowledge, for the sake of following. He wants to know what his Guru did because he wants to follow that and he also wants to become successful in his life. So, in reply to that question, Narada Goswami is telling that After I received the divine knowledge from the great sages, they left me, and after they left our place, these are my activities, or this is how I perform my activities. He is mentioning. एकात्मजा में जननी योशिन मूढ़ा च किंकिरी किंकिरी किंकरी किंकरी मय्यात्मजे अनन्यगतो चक्रे स्नेहानुबंधनम। আমার মাতা একে अबला स्त्री जाति स्वभावता बुद्धिहीना ও পরাধীনা দাসী, তাহাতে আবার আমি তাহার একমাত্র পুত্র, সুতরাং তিনি আমার অন্যগতি নাই দেখিয়া আমাকে অতিশয় স্নেহ করিতেন। So Narada Goswami is narrating his, what he was doing or what has happened to him after the sages left. He is telling that my mother, she is a woman and she was dependent. She was a maid servant. She was dependent and she was not very intelligent. On top of it, I was her only son. She had to take care of. She was not very intelligent. She was and on top of it, she is a maid servant dependent on somebody else. Therefore, as I was her only son, she was seeing that there is no one to take care of this boy, and hence she had showered a lot of affection on me because she had nobody else. I was the only one with her, therefore she showered a lot of affection on me. शाश्वतंत्रा न कल्पासीद योगक्षेमं ममेच्छति ईशस्य हि वशे लोको योषा दारुमयी यथा। আমার সেই জননী পরাধীনা ছিলেন। মাই মাদার ওয়াজ ডিপেন্ডেন্ট অন সামওয়ান এলস ফেভার, সুতরাং আমার রক্ষণে প্রতিপালন করিতে ইচ্ছা করিলেও সমর্থা ছিলেন না। Even though she wanted to take care of me properly, she was not able to do so because she was dependent on someone else, and therefore she had to undergo so many hardships to upbring me. কেননা কাষ্ঠা নির্মিতা স্ত্রী মূর্তি পুতলি যেমন পরবশ হওয়ায় কুহকের অধীন, তদ্রূপ প্রাণীমাত্রেই ঈশ্বর ইচ্ছায় বশীভূত। Can you cut this call? Narada Goswami is telling the reason is that just like a puppet or a doll made of some wood, the puppet itself has no desire or what we call independence of its own to act. However, the puppeteer is making that doll dance, the doll dances accordingly. The doll has no independent desire, or even if there is, the doll has no capacity to do so. Therefore, he is telling, Narada Goswami is telling that in this material world, everyone is like that. All the living entities want to do so many things, but not everyone can do it. It is only possible the way the Lord is making us dance, we are dancing accordingly. Nobody is independent in this material world. Narada Goswami is telling that it's not only my mother. Nobody is independent in this material world. Everyone is dependent on the mercy of somebody or the other. Nobody is independent. Cannot be. That's why either we become fully dependent on Krishna or we dependent upon Maya, somebody in the material world. Ultimately, we have to become dependent. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Kirtan, he writes, "Ar keno maya jale padite cha jeev meen, nahi jano baddha hoye ravi tumi chiradin." He is writing, he has written so nicely, "Ar keno maya jale padite cha jeev meen." He has compared the living entities with a fish. He's telling that, my dear living entities, or just like a fish is fallen into the trap, Maya Jal, the net, nahi jano baddha hoye, and you are not able to realize that you are conditioned. You are in bondage, you are not able to realize that. Nahi jano baddha hoye, ravi tumi chiradin. You are staying, you are thinking that, oh, this material world is so nice. You are caught up in this material world, which is like a fisherman's net. While being caught up in this, you are thinking that I am going to stay here eternally. Why are you doing this? And what is that? Paradhin, what is he saying that? What is the next line? Maya jale padite cha jiva mean, nahi jana baddha hai, ravi tumishiradin. There is the next line. He says that you are not independent in this material world. Time is controlling you. Time is controlling you. Your karma is controlling you. अति तुच्छ भोग आशे बद्ध होए बंदी होए माया पाशे बंदी होए माया पाशे रहिले विकृत भावे दंडयत पराधीन अति तुच्छ भोग आशे. Bhog means material enjoyment. What is he saying as bhog? Bhog asha means hope for enjoyment. He is telling it as ati tuchha, most insignificant enjoyment. Whatever enjoyment we are wanting to seek in this material world is ati tuchha, is most insignificant. In hope to get such an insignificant pleasure, bandi hoye maya pashe, you are caught in maya. Means you are wanting to enjoy, in order to get those fleeting pleasures, you are actually caught up in the web of Maya. Dandayata paradheen. And you are only getting constant punishment in this material world. In order to get this much of happiness, you have to undergo this much of punishment. That is what is happening in this material world. Why do you want to suffer in this material world? That is why ekhonavo bhakti bole Krishna prema sindhu jale krida karo anayase thako tumi Krishnadhin. You see, ultimately you have to stay under the protection of someone. Either you have to stay under Maya, means either you have to serve Maya, or thako tumi Krishnadhin, or you serve Krishna. How? Ekhanavo bhakti bale. Now by the strength of bhakti, Krishna prema sindhu jale, in the ocean of Krishna prema, krida kari anayasya. You swim very peacefully in the ocean of Krishna prema. There are no boundaries to this ocean. Krishna prema has no boundaries. There is no one binding you also, and there are no boundaries also. You are free to swim in the ocean of Krishna prema. Why do you want to be caught in this material ocean for fleeting pleasures, wherein you have to in order to get this much of pleasure, you have to undergo that much of trouble? Why do you want to take that path? Become subservient to Krishna. That is the meaning of this verse. So all of us are puppets. If we want to become puppet in the hand of Maya, then we'll get troubles. If we want to become puppets in the hands of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, then we will be in the ocean of bliss always. So Narada Goswami is telling that even though for my mother I was the only one to take care of, and she wanted to take care of me properly, but because she is dependent, she was not able to do so. My dear Vedavyas, just like a puppeteer makes the puppets dance, puppets have no independent act of their own. In a similar manner, no living entity can act independently. We think that we are the protectors of our children, we are the protectors of our nation, we are the protectors of our whatever XYZ. But actually, If Krishna does not sanction a certain thing, nothing becomes possible. Everything depends upon the will of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Then one may put a question, why the will of Supreme Lord? If I am endeavoring so much, why the will of Krishna? Who is he in between to interfere? And if it is his will, then what is the point in our acting? We don't have to act. If his will is there, it will happen automatically. But the thing is, Krishna's will here indicates that Krishna is not, basically limiting our free will, our independence. He has given a free will to all of us. Within that given free will, all of us are free to act, independent to act. But Krishna's will means the fruits are in the hands of Krishna. Means he is not doing it whimsically, he is doing it based on what karmas we did in the past. It's not that I like this person, therefore whatever he does I will favor. I don't like this person, whatever he does I am just going to block him. No, it's not like that. Krishna is impartial. He does not have any partiality to any living entity. One may say he is not studying, but he is getting distinction in all the subjects. He's not as intelligent as I, but he's like becoming a millionaire. I am very intelligent. I have done a lot of hard work, but I am still a roadside pauper. So Krishna is so partial that a person who has no knowledge, that person is made a millionaire, and a person who has knowledge, he made a pauper. But that is because, not that because Krishna is favoring someone and not favoring someone, it is because what we have done in the past, he is giving just the judgment, that's all. He is a judge. What we have done in the past, he witnessed, and accordingly he is giving the fruits. Therefore, it is beneficial for all the living entities to become puppets in the hands of Supreme Lord. Anyway, we are puppets in the hands of Supreme Lord only. But the thing is that we need to give that freedom completely to Supreme Lord, not to the materialistic persons. So, he is telling that my mother was not able to completely take care of me because she was not independent. Ahancha tad brahma kule ऊशिवांस तदपेक्षया दिग्देश काला व्युत्पन्नो बालकः पंचहायनः आमी दिग्देश काले अनभिज्ञ पंचम वर्षीय बालक छिलाम. I was only 5 years old. I had no knowledge of time, place, what to do, what to do. I was an innocent child, 5 years old. मातार स्नेह पाशे आबद्ध हइया अर्थात कबे ताहार स्नेह पाश हईते मुक्त हईब এই প্রতীক্ষা করিয়া আমি সেই ব্রাহ্মণ কুলে বাস করিতে লাগিলাম. I was very innocent. I had no knowledge of how to live, what to do, where to go. I had no knowledge of any of these things. But because of the blessings of the sadhus, or because of my association with them, because of listening Hari Katha, I was not caught in the clutches of my mother's affection. My mother was very affectionate towards me, and she wanted to take care of me even though she was dependent on someone else. Yet she wanted to shower all her mercy or affection upon me. But yet I was not at all caught by that affection. In fact, I was trying to escape from that, because by the mercy of the sadhus I could understand that this is only temporary. For how long this materialistic persons will protect? Krishna can protect eternally. Materialistic persons, nobody knows. That person will be gone even before us. So here he is telling that sneha pasha. Pasha means the bondage, shackles. Sneha means affection, the shackles of affection. Sneha pasha abaddha hoya, arthat kabe, even though I was caught in those shackles of affection of my mother, But I was thinking, how can I break these shackles? How can I come out of this mother's affection? And while thinking like this, I stayed in the house of the Brahmana. Ekada nirgatam geha duhanti duhanting nishi gangpati sarpo adashat पदास्पृष्टः कृपणाम कालचोदितः। एक दिन रात्रिकाले गोदोहन करिवार जन्य बहिर्गता हইলে আমার দুঃখিনী মাতাকে এক কাল প্রেরিত সর্প পদাহত হইয়া পথিমধ্যে দংশন করিল। So one day at the night time my mother has gone outside to milk the cow. At that time, even though she was very in a miserable state because she wanted to take care of her child but she was not able to do so because of not being independent, so she was unhappy. At that time, suddenly one serpent, inspired by the time, by the influence of time or the destiny, whatever you may call, a serpent has come and the serpent has bitten my mother. तदहमीशस्य भक्तानां शमभीप्सितः अनुग्रहं मन्यमानः प्रातिष्ठं दिशम् उत्तराम। तत्काले ताहार मृत्यु के भक्तजन मंगलेच्छु भगवानेरी कृपा मने करिया आमी उत्तर दिके प्रस्थान करिलाम। So Narada Vedavyas Muni's question was, what did you do after the sages left? He is mentioning that I was only 5 years old at that time, caught in the shackles of mother's affection, but I wanted to come out of it. At that time, a serpent, being influenced by the time, serpent had come and bitten my mother and she left the body immediately. I saw this, my mother's death, to be a special mercy of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, because here Bhaktajana Mangalechu, whatever the Lord does is for the welfare of the devotees. Now, while we are doing certain activities, we think that, oh, why did the Lord do this for me? Why did He do this for me? I have been chanting, I have been very sincere, I have been doing all these things so nicely, why only to me? We think like this. But here, Narada Goswami is telling that Bhaktajana Mangalechu, he is always desirous to bring welfare upon his devotees. In fact, the Lord is all auspicious, not only to the devotees, whatever He does, it is to bring welfare upon all the living entities. Nothing is out of any grudge or personal enmity to anyone. Whatever the Supreme Lord does is for the welfare of all the living entities. Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Mangalmay Bhagavaner Sab Karjai Mangal. He says, Lord is Mangalmay. Mangal means auspicious. Mangalmay means one who is full of auspicious, means all auspicious. Mangalamay Bhagavaner Sab Karjai Mangal. Whatever he does, whatever an all auspicious Supreme Lord does is for the welfare of all. Means it brings auspiciousness only. It does not bring anything other than auspiciousness, because he is all auspicious. If we are able to see like that in this material world, then we will be able to progress in Hari Bhajan. Brahmaji in his prayers says, Tat te anukampam. Everything is His mercy. How you have to know this? Susamikshamano. You have to see, not ordinary seeing. Susamikshamano. Guru Maharaj mentions this. Ikshaman means to see. Samikshaman means very nicely you have to see. Properly you have to see. And another adjective is used, susamikshamanu. Ikshamanu, samikshamanu, susamikshamanu means another adjective. That is, susamikshamanu means holistically, properly. You have to see that it is the mercy of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Whatever is happening is for my own welfare. This kind of, darshan one should have. Bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. Whatever troubles I am getting is due to my own past misdeeds. Whatever I have done in the past, I am getting a result for all those things. Nobody is to be blamed here. I myself am to be blamed for acting that way in my past. Therefore, Bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. I am the cause of what I am today. If I am suffering, Harid Vag Vapubhur Vidadhan Namaste. And with his mind, Harid, heart, Vag through speech, through heart, through his mind, and through his speech, Vidadhan Namaste, he is always, subservient to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bhak. Even though that person is living, he is the rightly eligible candidate for liberation. He may seem to be living like any one of us in this material world, ordinary body, but he is the rightly eligible candidate for liberation. Means he has already attained liberation. A person who is able to see the mercy of Supreme Lord always, under all circumstances. Actually, the Lord cannot do any bad to anyone. He cannot harm any living entity. He is like a mother. Supreme Lord has got the affection of millions and millions of mothers put together, not just 1 to 3 mothers. Millions of mothers, not only millions, infinite, you cannot count. So much affection the Lord has upon the living entities. How can he see his own kinsmen or his own created beings undergo so much trouble? How can he let them go astray? He will not do that. He is doing all his best, or he is doing everything for the best of all the living entities. It is we who are not able to realize, just like the parents. The parents are constantly, they are trying to do good for the child, but the child is thinking, oh, my mother is my enemy, my father is my enemy. I want to enjoy, but my mother wants to beat me, my father wants to beat me. The child does not know, because he has got the desire to get attracted towards immediate enjoyment, not able to understand what is going to be the end result or what's going to be the futuristic result of it. He wants to get immediate result, and mother and father, they obstruct to it, they object to it, and the child thinks that, oh, they are my enemies. My father, my mother does not allow me to enjoy. It has happened with me. I know. I'm a live example. I was thinking, my parents were trying to control. They were trying, don't do this, don't do this, don't. My friend's mother is very nice. My friend's father is very nice. They are letting him do whatever he wants. But my mother, my father not allowing me. These are my enemies. I never thought they are my enemies, but I didn't like. Why? Because they are controlling. They know that if this person is not controlled now, in the future he is not going to be a person. He is not going to be any, respectable person in the world. He will be like any other, thief, dacoit, or whatever, XYZ. But I am not seeing that. I want immediate enjoyment. So, mother and father, they always want to bring good upon the child. Why I said this is, Supreme Lord has millions and millions and millions, infinite in fact, mother's love and father's love in him. How can he even desire, understand that, everything, whatever is happening is Lord's mercy? I'll give one example. This devotee's wife One devotee, she shared with me, I think he also shared with me, one devotee took her hand in that person's hands, means he took like this, and then that person started pressing the palms or the hands. He was pressing to that degree that she is feeling the pain, pressing the hand very hard, that she is feeling the pain. And then the devotee asked, are you feeling the pain? She said no. Why? Because I know that you are not going to harm me. I know that you are not going to harm me, therefore it's not paining. Then the devotee said, yes, this is what it is. You have to understand that Supreme Lord is not going to harm any one of us. He gives some pain, yes, but that is very sweet. If some outsider, if he is pressing our hand very hard, hey, leave it. Why are you doing this to me? Just get out of this place. But if a person who is very dear, he or she is doing it, you will know that this person is not going to harm me. This person is not going to trouble me. He is doing it, out of love or affection, whatever it is. In a similar manner, Supreme Lord is giving that so-called pain. It's not pain actually, because if we have the if we have that, not desire, capability, you can say, to sometimes my mind gets blocked. I cannot bring right words at the right time. So if we have the capacity to bear the pain that the Lord is giving to us, so called pain, thinking that he is not basically doing any harm to us, he is going to give some lesson, he wants to give us some lesson, then we will be able to understand his true mercy. Otherwise, we think that, why Lord is giving trouble to me, why I am doing sincerely, I am performing everything so nicely. But this is not the devotee's way of thinking. The Lord, whatever he does, is for the welfare of all the living entities. So Narada Goswami is telling that I saw that my mother's death is to bring welfare upon me by Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Therefore I thought this as a mercy of Supreme Lord, and then I left in the northern direction. Means in search of Supreme Lord. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, ताहा अर्थात मातार मरण के आमार प्रति ईश्वरेर अनुग्रह मने करिया उत्तर दिगे गमन करलाम. I saw my mother's death as a blessing of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. I did not get attached to it. I did not, lament. I saw that this is a mercy of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in order to quench my thirst for Supreme Lord. Mata urdhvadehic karyadi na kuriya gaman kuriya. And he's telling that I have not even performed the final rites of my mother. I immediately left in search of Supreme Lord. Pratishtham ei parasmaika arsha prayog. So he's telling that I have not even looked back. I just proceeded towards northern direction in search of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. You see, our Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, disciple of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had a very, very intense desire to join the mission of Srila Prabhupada, but he was married. Seeing his intense desire to join the mission of Srila Prabhupada, it's the Lord's mercy that his wife died at a very young age. A very young age his wife died. And immediately Sri Sridhar Maharaj saw this as a nice opportunity to, he saw this as a Lord provided opportunity to free him from this bondage. And then he immediately came and joined the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So, the true devotees, they see this as an opportunity. Vritrasura also, when Indra was, little hesitant to kill Vritrasura, because Vritrasura had once, gave him, fished in such a manner. He had, with a so what do you call, forcefully he had fisted, the Airavata on which Indra was sitting, that the Airavata was somersaulting, and then blood started coming out of Airavata. And where is Indra? Nobody knows. Just, flied into the sky. And now Vritrasura is telling that, Indra, please kill me. Please use your, thunderbolt weapon upon me. Indra is thinking that, oh, this fellow has some, bad intention. Now, if I throw this weapon on him, he will throw it back on me, like he did just now. He'll throw it back on me and then I'll be finished. That's why he's doing. But Vritrasura saw that I am praying to Indra, he is not giving me death. Let me pray Supreme Lord. If Supreme Lord inspires him, then he will throw at me. Then he started praying to Supreme Lord, my dear Lord, everything is under your control. Please take me to your place. Then it is after that Indra had thrown the thunderbolt weapon and then he was killed. Means that devotees see everything as an opportunity provided by the Supreme Lord for their Hari Bhajan. They don't see that, oh, this is, I want to progress in Hari Bhajan, but Krishna is stopping me. He's not stopping. He is always wanting to, push us further and further. But it is we who are not able to understand, just like mother's love. I want to do this, but my mother is stopping. No, she is not stopping. She is actually telling you the way how you have to do this. In a similar manner, the Supreme Lord. We will continue tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Panchatattvatmak Shri Gaura Hari ki jai. परमाराधितम पतित पावन स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय. नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद प्रणोत स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति दयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय. श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय. श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. सर्वविघ्न विनाशनकारी भक्त वत्सल भगवान श्री सिंह देव की जय. भक्त प्रवर श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय. श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय. श्री नारद गोस्वामी की जय. श्रीमद् भागवत श्रवण करी भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. You can